Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a reading that is going to be for May. The title of it is What You Need to Know for May. I'm going to be going through all 12 of the signs. I'm going to timestamp all of them. By the time that you're seeing this, it will be timestamped, so you'll know what to click on. My suggestion is first watching for your rising sign. For those of you that you don't know your rising sign, you can go with your sun sign, but you may find more so that your rising sign is what you see happening. It also too depends on, let me just get into this for a second. When it comes to your rising sign, that's like physically what you can be going through. So that's what the rising sign is connected with as far as the tarot reading. When it comes to your sun sign, it can be like a deeper part of like a calling or an urge that you're experiencing, but it may not be happening on a physical level. So it's definitely something that you experience, but it may not play out physically in the way that it sort of comes out in the tarot reading. When it comes to your moon sign, that can be helpful because it's about how you're like sort of emotionally relating to things and like the emotional narrative that you have regarding a situation. So let me just use an example. If there's a reading and somebody's talking about like these two people are gonna bump into each other, or there's gonna be like a hanging out, that's something that's going to be connected with your rising sign. I'm gonna put a link also in the description for those of you that you want to calculate your birth chart. You're going to need to calculate your whole birth chart. You need your date of birth, like the day. You need the time of your birth as well. And you also need your location, like city and state, or however that translates for where you're from and how the like territories are marked. So yeah, I'm going to put a link in the description for that. I think that's about everything. This is just a reading for everybody connected with like what you need to know for May. So it can be like stuff that's going to be popping up, whatever. Oh, the example that I was going to use. If in a reading somebody's talking about people like hanging out or bumping into each other, that would be connected with rising sign. So if you're watching a reading and that's being discussed, it may not necessarily translate to your sun sign, if that makes sense. If the reader is then talking about something and it's about something that's being experienced on like an emotional level and the emotional like perspective, you can see that being connected with your moon sign. So let's say that you're going through something emotionally where you're like, I could really use some guidance. Watch readings for your moon sign. It will be able to give you the type of guidance that you're looking for, or like trying to resolve something emotionally. There are always going to be like special situations, like those of you that have stelliums, that's something where there's going to be like a focus on that energy. And so even if your rising is not part of your stellium, you may still find that then you can just watch readings for that sign and have it really resonate. It also depends on like how things are aspected. So without wanting to like confuse things and go too much into detail, that's sort of just like a basis of understanding. So yeah, I think that just about covers it. Your Venus sign can be connected with your relationships. Your Mars is usually about like asserting yourself in some way or taking action in some way. So if you have something that you need to do or needs to be done, that can be connected with your Mars energy if you watch for that sign. And yeah, your Venus is going to be connected with like your relationships, your partnerships, your values, things like that. So if it can be like work related things too, your Venus can be connected to, because it has to do with like your finances, money, and stuff like that. So all of those things. I hope we didn't get too confusing with this. I know astrology can be very complicated. So yeah, it can take a while for all of this stuff to kind of settle in. So anyway, I'm gonna go in order. So it's gonna be Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, like the whole thing. So that's what we're gonna do here. We are starting at 4:44 for Aries, getting into it. So what does Aries need to know for May? patience. The irony. Okay. So we're starting off with Temperance here. It looks like there's something that you're figuring out. There can be something that you're putting together here. Some of you, there's somebody that you're working with. That can also be something that's going on here too. It can be like a relationship that you're trying to figure things out within. Because I am seeing Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, so there can be like a person, there can be a person in your life right now where you feel like it's taking like patience and trial and error, figuring things out. If you hear running around, it's Octavia in the background. So it can be sort of that type of thing where you're trying to figure out like, how does it work, and how does it work, and how do these go together, like that type of thing, and like really taking your time. So I'm seeing May is going to feel sort of like putting a puzzle together. This also means tapping into your energy that's cooperative as well. I'm seeing that also be part of it too. Teamwork. Which is interesting because it can almost feel like a bit of the opposite of your energy at times, because Aries is very good at like the strength of Aries is to be able to lead and to like tell others what to do, like that type of thing, and to charge ahead and to be like the first one, like that type of thing. So having Temperance and then also seeing the Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, this can be something where it's like you lead sometimes and then you may be letting somebody else lead. It can be sort of like figuring out that relationship of like, when do I need to show up in this way versus like when do I allow the other person. So it feels like the recognition of when am I taking action versus when am I being receptive, and sort of like reading the room to figure out how to do that dance with whoever, whatever this is that you're working with here. This is a challenge, so I'm seeing it be intriguing for that reason, where you're like, this is something that I can give my energy to because I'm figuring it out. I'm not seeing this be easy. But it's going to be, things are going to work out. So you could feel a bit impatient because I'm seeing Temperance and I'm also seeing Nine of Wands here too. So it can be like, oh, like, why can't this process be faster? Like, I want to get it over. I want this to be resolved, or I want to get that news, whatever it is that you're like waiting for. It's going to be a process. So allow the process to play out. I will say this, from what I'm seeing, this process can move as like slowly or quickly as it will. It's not about like it needs to take X amount of time. It's about sort of respecting like the flow of the process and the timing of things. So rather than like making it about the timing, it's like making it about the process. So it's not just looking at it and being like, you need to get this done in 5 minutes. It's like, what can get done in 5 minutes? Like, what can be accomplished? Like, sort of looking at it like that. Because it's not even about the timing, but it may be something that you're aware of. So it's something that, like, in your head, you feel like this should go a little bit faster. And Temperance is saying that you're going to need to be patient to spend time within this and to not rush it. I'm seeing that really be the main thing, to allow it to unfold and to be engaged in the process and not rush it, but to actually like move in harmony with the way that this process is flowing. And the reason too why this can be a more challenging energy to tap into is because the nature of Aries is like having that initial spark and then needing to move very quickly. So it's like these bursts of energy because Aries is the cardinal fire sign. So it can be like, I'm having this feeling now, I want to act on it now, and then like let it be done with. Like that type of thing, that's the way that the energy moves. This is something where you're sort of going to be training yourself in a different way, where you may feel like a fish out of water here with this, what you're moving through. But it's something that you're definitely like gaining skills through this, because it looks like a little bit of a project that you have going on here that's being figured out. It seems like this is also about taking time and resting too for some of you. there's a focus on that. Like rather than using up all of the gas, it feels like it's wanting to keep it level and steady as you move through this. So to not exert everything and then have nothing left. It also seems like it's a time of reflection as well. Time of reflection, a period of reflection. There's also a focus on on either keeping things at the same level or stacking it up and building rather than depleting. I'm seeing that also be part of this too. And you can find this be relevant for you wherever you feel like there's a focus of that within your life. Like this can be, for some of you, it can be with your finances, okay? I'm looking at Four of Pentacles. That's like the most obvious one here. Finances, it can be a time where you feel like I need to not be going into and like depleting my finances, but to either keep them where they are or build them. And that can be part of the process. Some of you, this can be for your energy, wanting to make sure that you have the energy that you need, where there can be like a conservation of energy that's happening. Yeah, those sorts of things. This can be like an emotional thing, like a conservation of emotional energy. It's going to be energy. It just can take different forms. So whatever you are feeling intuitively, like you're focusing on, wherever you could be like, I feel like I need to do that, or I need to figure this out, or I just need to be patient. How you're going to know what this is for you is that it's going to be, it's going to be something that there may be a part of you that is like, oh, I know that this is going to be a process, or I know that this is going to take time. And so there can be a part of you that almost, like, you know that this is going to be a commitment, you know that this is going to be an investment of sorts, just at least for the month, because we're just covering the month for right now. You're going to have to be patient. That means not dispelling whatever this is. So, like, let's say that whatever this is that you're supposed to be stacking up, like over here in this picture, right? It's like you have it in the little tent. Like you have it stacked up over here. It's about not using this. Like, do not deplete this, whatever this is. This is not a time to be depleting this. So it's either like keep it where it is and keep it safe, or put more into there. But with Temperance, that can mean like not doing that impulsive thing that would then deplete that energy in whatever form it's taking within your life. Having Nine of Wands is sort of like the energetic battle that's going to be taking place, the energetic play that's going to be taking place, where this is flexing a muscle for you. This is something that's going to be strenuous, but in a way where this is not about being bold and taking action immediately. It's also learning, like, respectively, the other side of that, which is also knowing when not to take action. So I'm getting to that you may find that it's easier for you to just, like, you have something in your hands, you do something with it immediately. This is going to be a time where it's about knowing when not to do something with that. So that's what I'm seeing this period is going to be for you. I'm seeing Sagittarius with Temperance, and I'm also seeing Virgo with the Hermit. So it can be connected within those areas of your life. It can hold whatever other significance or meaning that you want that to hold for you. It's going to be a period of, it looks like there's going to be a lot of reflection, a lot of getting present, getting grounded, paying attention. It feels like paying attention to what's going on. And also it feels like maybe doing the more difficult thing. Like, I'm seeing discipline is going to be a big part of this. And also periodically checking in. And because I'm seeing the Hermit here too, this may be something that you're you feel like this is your own individual process that you're sort of like moving through and working on right now. There may not be like a bunch of other people involved in this, or you may not be feeling super social at this time. It may be something where you're like, I just need to be spending this time with myself to sort of like figure this out and figure out how I feel about it and understand it and those types of things. So that's what I'm seeing be going on for you, what needs to be known for May. And now we're going to switch over to Taurus. All right. Hi Taurus, this is going to be your reading, what you need to know for May. Let's see what you have going on. All right, first card that we have out is Five of Wands. There's something that's being worked out. It looks like there may be a conversation around this too. With this Five of Wands is usually like there being energy and us needing to figure out how to get everything on the same page to like move in the same direction. So you may feel like you're sort of harnessing different aspects of your energy. It can be different areas of your life. It can even be like different passions that you have or motivators that you have, and getting them to all work in a congruent way. So something is being worked out here, connected with that. I'm seeing Two of Pentacles, which feels like it's about focusing on this. So whatever this is that you feel like is in conflict right now, well, for May, whatever you feel like is coming up that is conflict to be worked out, that's what you're meant to be prioritizing. That's what you're meant to be focusing on, because you're basically like figuring out how to do that dance. I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles. So this can be about, it looks like it's about a relationship of sorts between what you spend energetically, which I mentioned this in the Aries reading too. When it comes to energetics, when it comes to pentacles, energy can take form in many different forms. So it can be like money, it can be like physical energy that you have in your body, it can be about your anything that you could like give or receive. Anything that reciprocity can be a part of that, or like an exchange can be a part of that. Having Five of Wands is focusing on what you feel like is sort of like bumping into each other right now, and how to get them to work together, these energies. So rather than there being a clashing, it's about getting them to move in a harmonious way, these energies. So sort of like what needs to happen as far as the exchange can be running smoothly. It's like, I'm really seeing this as a dance where like you have these two people that are dancing with one another. This is the relationship. And it's like they keep bumping into one another. Like one of them is leading, then the other one is trying to lead. And then there's just this like, it's almost like a bad choreography. Having Two of Pentacles is like, how do we figure out how to get these energies to do that dance with one another? And then having Six of Pentacles is about recognizing like when to step and when to step back, like when to step forward, when to step back. But it feels like it's about like a relationship between something. So I'm seeing that's what's being focused on here with this. So there's not going to be any more like stepping on each other's feet. And know that this can be like with you and yourself too. It doesn't need to be with another person. There can be this part of you that's like, I'm trying to accomplish this right now within my life. And then there can be another part of you that's like, well, I'm trying to do this right now. And then they're butting heads with one another because their agendas are not congruent with one another. So it's about like getting all this energy on the same page. So I'm seeing that be a big focus for you, Taurus. Oh, for some of you, there is somebody that's involved in this. I'm seeing this can be like anybody that you're connected with. Some of you, it can be family that you're connected with. It can be a partner. I'm seeing there definitely be like something, there's an emotional twist to this and an emotional connection. So this is what's currently going to be taking place. Anything else? This means too that you're also spending time figuring out like what to, because it's this focus on balance with the Six of Pentacles. This is about keeping the scales balanced so you don't feel like you're overexerting yourself, and you also don't feel like you're taking too much. And that also means keeping things in check around you as well. Because when you're in check with yourself like that, nothing is going to take too much of your energy, or you're not going to take too much of something. There's going to be that sense of balance there where the relationship is allowed to continue because it's functioning properly. I'm seeing the Five of Cups here. So there can be a focus on like something that you feel like went wrong, or went in a way that now that you're reflecting on it, it didn't align with your values. You can take this time to recognize and reflect on that, because it's going to help you know where to step in the future. So don't spend too much time on this that you're like, I should have done this differently, I should have done that differently, to the point where you're no longer like present and paying attention to things. Just allow it to inform you of when this situation reoccurs, how will you do it this time in a way where you'll be happy with the way that you did it. So I'm seeing that be going on here. But yeah, it looks like May may be a time of you looking back on something and reworking it. Yeah, I'm feeling this whole thing again where it's like I gave too much or I took too much, like that type of thing. This is going to inform you on how to take action presently. So that's why this is important to reflect on. And with that being said, we are going to leave the reading here and jump into Gemini. Okay, what time is it? All right. Hi, Gemini. I hope that you're all doing well. Let's see what we have going on. What do you need to know for May? I'm going to use a different deck. All right, Gemini, I'm seeing the Devil, but I'm also seeing the Chariot on the bottom of the deck. So, wow, a lot of major arcana is coming out for you. It feels like you're figuring out what you are going to be using your energy for, especially your creative energy. I'm seeing the Devil and I'm seeing the Empress, and I'm also seeing Strength here. So when it feels almost like the Empress is sort of in this in-between, your Empress energy is your Venus energy. So this is like your skill set, what you're good at, like how you want to be moving through your life, what you're creating, what you're manifesting, those types of things. And also like what you're producing. It can be energetically, it can be creatively, those types of things. To have the Devil speaks about... It speaks about fears, it speaks about cycles that we get trapped in, things that we get sucked into, stuff that like doesn't actually feel aligned, or where we feel like we're going to get something that we need, but it's not really going to materialize there. But it's something that we almost want to lean into and hope that that's going to like make us happy, like that type of thing. When we're looking at Leo, like on the other side of things, Leo energy with Strength here is about understanding your nature and being able to work with it and work with your willpower, because the Devil can be like succumbing to something that you feel then like pulls you into a cycle that you don't want to be in, and one that feels disempowering. With Strength, this is you leaning into an energy where it feels more like you're the one calling the shots, and like you're the one in control, and you're doing what feels right to you, rather than falling into something that feels inauthentic. So I'm seeing this as sort of, Gemini, going to be like a little battle that's going on for May. And I think at the bottom of it, what's going to sort of be uncovered is like what's really motivating you. and that's why you're doing certain things that you're doing. For some of you, like the most classic example here, like having the devil and also having strength here too, there can be something that you feel like is very influential that could be pulling you into a cycle that you don't want to be pulled into. And strength is about how you exercise your willpower to not get pulled into that, to not like lose yourself to that process if that's not something that you want to do. Okay. I'm seeing, it looks like, I think more realization than anything is going to be made. I'm seeing the devil, and I'm also seeing Two of Swords be connected with it. So this feels like insight and also willingly deciding something, like consciously even deciding something, like maybe which way you're going to go or what you're going to do. Let me give an example for this energy. Let's say that you create art, okay? Having the devil versus having strength and you being in between that, it can be like, am I going to do it for this reason where I feel like maybe that's going to, like maybe this is what I think other people want from me, or like what they would like, and making it sort of about external things, versus strength, which is going to feel like this is what feels real to me, or this is what feels raw to me, or this is what feels honest to me. And so that's the direction that I'm going to lean into. But it's always going to be easier to move in the direction of the devil versus moving in the direction of strength, because strength is going to take like exerting willpower rather than just falling into something and like crumbling into it. And it's mostly going to be challenging for the ego that may find some type of pattern comfortable and familiar, but it doesn't feel empowering, versus recognizing that you do have a choice and that you do have power, and that if you exercise your willpower, this is not a type of cycle that you have to stay repeating if you don't want to. I think it's also about seeing that you have the choice too, like you don't just have to fall into this. It's not something that you have to be a part of. Something else that you may not be seeing yet is, you know, when you think that you're going to get something that you want from something, you stay within that because you think that you're going to get something that you want from it. I am seeing Eight of Cups, so you may be coming to a realization that what you want is not going to be fulfilled within this cycle with the devil, whatever that is. The devil can feel like a vice too. Lots of different things, like it can feel like social pressure, it can be like patterns of addiction, it can be anything that you're doing where you're sort of like looking for an answer, or looking to feel whole, maybe in a way that you don't necessarily feel like that, and being like, is this going to be the answer? Is this going to be the answer? Is that thing going to be the answer? Is that going to make me feel better? Like those types of things at the bottom of it. Having Two of Swords feels like you may be getting closer to seeing something that needs to be seen about this, about like, why do I keep ending up in this pattern? Why do I keep ending up in this cycle? And how do I work with this too? But it feels like something needs to be realized in order for this energy to be worked with. And what needs to be realized is that this isn't the answer, that it's not going to, like what you're trying to get out of it is not going to materialize from that. But until that's realized, we're going to stay in that cycle, right? Like until we understand the way that something works fully, it's like there's still something here that's being worked out, and you also coming to your own conclusion. Also too, like just knowing the nature of Gemini as well, you may have like a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts about this and feel overwhelmed, and then just like move into like the feeling of things because you're like, how do I turn my head off, you know, like that type of thing. And it may be something that like has this continuing to repeat. Because I am seeing something, I am seeing a door that's opening in front of you. However, it looks like this door is going to remain looking very stressful until something else is dealt with. And it's whatever the devil is for you. The devil is something that's going to feel tempting. It's something that can feel good instantaneously or in a moment, or like provide temporary relief, or make you feel like for a moment temporarily that like there's a sense of satiation, but it's always going to be temporary. It's not something that's going to be like a long-term type of thing. So it's almost like a synthetic thing, like that. It just feels like looking for answers in that direction, you're not going to find it, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to find an answer for this. Like that there isn't a way to resolve whatever it is that you're trying to resolve. There is a way, but this just isn't the way. So I'm seeing that be like a big thing that's going to be taking place. And I'm seeing too that there is an opportunity in front of you that may actually be linked to this and helping you sort of get out of this cycle. But it's something that, even though this may be a great opportunity in front of you, it can feel really intense and overwhelming and almost like losing its promise in a sense, because of you being caught up with this other thing, with this other cycle that you're in right now. So it looks like this is about making a choice between like, do I want to keep doing that same stuff? Like, is there still more that I'm working out here, or am I ready to go into something else? So I'm seeing that be a big focus on the energy for you for May, Gemini. I'm looking at Capricorn, I'm looking at Venus, and I'm also looking at Leo here. So with that, we are going to end it, and we're going to jump into Cancer's reading. All right, Cancer, we are here with your reading for May. What do you need to know for May? All right, we're starting off with Four of Wands. Starting off with Four of Wands can be a time where things feel like they're in sync, a time when things can feel harmonious. There can be in May like a celebration, there can be an event that's happening. You could just feel like things are working the way that they're supposed to. There can be like an overall feeling of harmony that you're experiencing. There can be a focus on a relationship, a marriage, a living situation, Cancer. Wow, I'm seeing things look very, very solid here. We have Four of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. So whatever this is that you have going on here, I'm seeing it's like it's working the way that it's supposed to. It's working very well. There's a big focus on stability. Having 10 of Pentacles, it shows that whatever this is that you have going on in May, it's something that it feels like there is a very solid foundation. It feels like the inner workings are all working together. 10 of Pentacles shows that this is something that's like really solid and that it's going to be lasting, and also that it's something that provides really like priceless value for you within your life. And that may be something that you're focusing on, or something that you're realizing, or just a moment that you're having where you're like, wow, this holds a lot of meaning for me. This is something that I want to maintain within my life. I'm so happy that I'm here at this point now, so there can even be like a reflection about things, that sort of stuff. Okay, so now that this is stabilized and things are looking really good, you may be planning the next steps. So I'm seeing some decisions are going to be made. So let's say that you were trying to get like a system to work or something to be balanced within your life where you were like, it's solid, it's not going to crumble. And now it's actually working the way that it's supposed to. Like all of the pieces are doing what they're supposed to do. So it's like, I don't need to worry about this. Like it's like efficient on its own and doing what it needs to be doing. It feels now like there's going to be an add-on, or there's going to be a plan of like, well, what do we do next then? Or like, what happens from here then? And I'm seeing this sort of coming into play now, where it can feel like even an extension of what you've been building, or like the next piece of things, like that type of thing. There's going to be a lot of thought during May about this, about plans, about what's going to be happening. So maybe there's planning for a specific thing. This can just be like, what's the next part of this? What's the next piece of this? It does feel like it's linked to something that's already established and something that you're like, this is perfect. I don't need this to change. Like it's exactly as it's meant to be, like that. Like it can just stay that way. Now this next part of things, I'm seeing there be a lot of consideration, a lot of thinking about this, a lot of reflecting. You can be looking for answers too, having to do with like the next steps or the next pieces or the next parts of things and what's going to be happening and how that's going to be happening. Like, how are we going to be doing this? Like that type of thing. So it can be a time where there's a lot of reflection. I'm seeing Hermit, so this is going to be a contemplative period. This is not taking action. This is about thinking about all of these things and not doing anything about it yet. So May feels like it's going to be a period of waiting, because this needs to be like brainstormed first, especially too because we have Virgo here. This is like thinking about everything. It's like, what if it goes like this? What if it goes like that? It's like playing the tape to the end on like every possible plan, like that type of thing. So then when the time comes where action is going to need to be taken, like you've already played it all out, so you know what to do. So I'm seeing that's going to be a really big focus for you. I want to see what else is coming out. But yeah, I'm seeing things look very, very solid. You know, the Four of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles is feeling like a household type of thing, like getting your house in order, but it seems like it's in like the perfect order. So I'm seeing something that feels almost like whatever basis it is that you come from, like that feeling really good. Like you can always fall back onto that, and now it's about spreading your wings in some way, and that's what's being focused on. And it looks like there could have been something happening. I'm seeing Ten of Swords, so this can be like there was worry about something or there was concern about something, but now that's over. So it's like, okay, I don't need to be worried about that anymore, or it's like resolved now at this point. Whatever this is that was taking up space mentally for you, I'm seeing that be closed out, so it's like really not a thing anymore. But it could have been something that felt like a bit of a trial or something difficult that you were working through, especially on a mental level. All right, I'm also seeing you be very deliberate when it comes to plans that are being made, especially social plans. I'm seeing Queen of Swords here, and I'm also seeing Three of Cups here. So this is you needing to like discern, like, can I like spend this time right now? Like, can I hang out right now? Am I ready to hang out right now? Am I ready to socialize? There may be something that you're figuring out that's centered around socializing. Some of you, you're planning for an event, is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing you also be in a space where you're like, because this area of my life is solid, I need to also make sure that the plans that I'm making do not disrupt that. So I'm seeing that also be a thing too that you have going on. But you could have just went through something that was difficult, but I'm seeing you're not going through it anymore, like it's done now. But it seems like it brought you a sense of wisdom and maybe more of a sense of contextual understanding for what's being planned out now at this point and decisions that need to be made that are connected with this. Because this is like, it's plans for something. I'm hearing an arrangement. So this can be plans for like a wedding that's happening, Cancer. It can be plans for a birthday that's happening. It can be plans for like a reunion that's happening. It can be plans to like meet up with friends. It's something that has to do with like a social type of context here. But I'm also seeing you like just went through something, and so you may still be in that mode of like I'm still shaking that thing off that I just went through, and even though I'm not dealing with it anymore, I'm sort of still in that mode of like I needed to be in this energy to deal with that. And now it looks like you're sort of glancing at what's to come in that same, like with that same mindset, like that type of thing. Like being very analytical. And trying to read what's in front of you and assess things. I want to get one more. Look at strong Virgo energy here. Yeah, spend time figuring out what to focus on and prioritize. Prioritizing is going to be a big thing. It looks like too there's a lot of balancing things as well. And I'm also seeing that there may be somebody that you're working closely with or working together with. And so that can also be part of this too. Like you may feel like you need to be in a collaborative space right now. Maybe it's not just you making decisions. Maybe you're making joint decisions with somebody. Things like that going on. So that's what I'm seeing May is going to be looking like for you. All right, Cancer, we are going to leave the reading here and we are going to jump into Leo's reading. All right, Leo, I'm seeing that there's going to be news that you're getting. You could be waiting on news, waiting on information. What's going on for you for May? I'm seeing immediately that there's going to be like important information that's going to be coming through. It can be important news that's going to be coming through. Something like that. Something you could be waiting for something to be clarified, like those types of things, Leo. You are going to be getting answers in May. Okay. It looks like there's a little bit of conflict that's connected with you figuring something out. There can be social implications of this as well. Like relationships being involved. Okay. Leo, we're starting off with Knight of Wands. So this shows you feeling energized, you're feeling motivated, you're feeling brave, you're feeling confident, you're feeling excited, those types of things. It's like ready to do something or chase after something or get something done or experience something, like that type of vibe. Since you're having this burst of energy during May, I'm seeing that your guides are saying to be deliberate with how you use it. So this energy, knowing that it is a resource, this motivation that you're feeling right now, Leo, knowing that this is a resource. Because you know you don't always feel like this, but I'm seeing you feel like extra energized you can be feeling like extra motivated where you're like, I really feel like I'm on one right now. Like I want to create, or I want to do this, or just, you know, that feeling that's feeling really good when you feel like your life force is really strong within you. It's that type of thing. But having Two of Pentacles is making sure that you use this energy wisely. So it's not like having it scattered and chaotic everywhere. You need to get organized with how you're using this energy so you can use it in a way that's functional and productive for you. So maybe there are certain things that you could do where if you're not being mindful, you would look back and be like, that was a waste of my energy. I should have used it for this other thing. Instead of having to look back at it and regret it, you do those things now and figure out where this energy needs to go, because it is a limited resource. Because again, you're not going to stay feeling this way, but I'm seeing this be a month where you're going to have a lot of energy to exert, and so it's about using it for your goal-oriented things. Or it doesn't even have to be goal-oriented. It's just more so using it in a way where you're like, I'm happy that I used it for that. Whatever it may be for you. Rather than looking back and being like, I'm unhappy that I used it for that. So it's about figuring out sort of where to focus this. Because I'm definitely seeing there's going to be an increase of energy during May for you. There can be a lot of excitement too that you're experiencing as well. Learning how to prioritize. There can also be stuff that you're learning about when there can be stuff that you're learning about that's connected with creating lasting things, doing things that allow for longevity. There can be a focus on stability. So maybe you want to utilize this energy on things that prioritize your sense of stability or security. There can be, anything that can be connected with that. I will say this, Knight of Wands, when we're in that energy, it's the type of energy that doesn't necessarily want to think about long term, because it's like, I'm feeling this right now, I just want to do whatever. And so sometimes it can be like forgetting the bigger picture. So it's important to be able to harness this energy where you're keeping in mind the big picture, because I'm seeing there be a focus on you wanting things to be solid. Like you may have certain goals here that you're working towards. So make sure that you use this energy and that it's working towards whatever this is that you're trying to do over here. This is going to be a time of learning how to prioritize, learning how to, I'm hearing facilitate. I don't know what you're facilitating, but that word is coming through. You're learning how to manage. There's something that you're managing here. This may be resources that you're managing. Resources can be anything. It can be your energy, it can be your money, it can be your relationships, anything that holds value to you, or that holds value to anyone, where you can like use it, exchange it, get something in return for it, like those types of things. Things are going to be looking very solid for you if you use this energy wisely. I'm seeing that it looks like there's going to be a lot of motivation too. There's a lot of work that you've been doing, but there may also be this part of you that's like, I'm feeling these two differing energies. There's this part of you that's like putting on your glasses and sitting at your desk and doing whatever. And then there's this other part of you that's like, I want to have fun and I want this to happen and I want that to happen. And it's sort of like living inside of you is both the very studious student and also the party animal is sort of what this is feeling like in whatever area of your life that this plays out. And so I'm seeing that's sort of what's being figured out, and that's what's being managed right now. Like how does that energy get grounded? Because it looks like some some heavy energy that you're working with here. But it also seems like there's a lot that's coming to light for you as well, of like having Knight of Wands and having Eight of Pentacles. It can be like, I build this whole thing up and then I like knock it all over. Like, why does that happen and where does that come from? And I feel like it's connected with like not thinking certain things through, or even connected with like impulsivity, or connected with you moving in the direction of something where you're like, I think that thing's gonna make me happy, or I think that's gonna be the answer. And then like looking back, you're like, man, that like really wasn't it. So I'm seeing this be a process that you're learning right now, which takes also experiencing these things so you can sort of like glean the information and understanding, because you're basically like learning how this works. So I'm seeing that be a big part of your process. It feels too like not being fooled just by the shiny thing, but by being like, does that really hold value for me? Like, is that really going to add to what I have going on? Like that type of thing. Because it looks like there may be a lot of distractions in the environment, but it's something that you're learning how to discern. It's like how to be able to have fun and play and allow yourself to express this energy while also not like sabotaging things or getting you caught in cycles where then you feel like you're sort of caught in a riptide and you can't get out of it. So I'm seeing that be a focus here. I'm looking at Cancer, I'm looking at the Sun, and I'm also looking at Capricorn too. You having this burst of energy, it is going to help you during May. It is going to help you overcome certain barriers, challenges, obstacles that you may have been facing. So it's like now you have the energy or the strength to like jump over those hurdles that you had been experiencing. I'm seeing a lot of work that you have been putting in, that you're going to continue to put in, that's connected with your stability and your long-term stuff. So I'm seeing that be a big focus on what's going on. Focus on prioritizing management of energy and resources, and also you learning more about yourself and learning more about like vices or the things that you get caught up in cyclically. And it feels more like pattern recognition than anything. It's like learning about those things that have a force of temptation within your life, like that type of thing, or learning about your fears, like those types of things that can be more dense. I'm seeing you be learning about those things right now, that being a really big focus for you during May. So that is the end of the reading for you, Leo. Thank you for connecting. We are now going to jump into Virgo. All right, Virgo. Hi Virgo, we are here with your reading for May. What you need to know for May. Looks like you're in the process of something here, Virgo. I'm seeing us start with the Seven of Pentacles, which shows you kind of in the middle of something. So during May, it looks like you're going to be in the middle of something that you have going on. You may be waiting on something. It looks like you're like, what is going to happen? Like you could be waiting for an outcome, or you could have invested in something and you're waiting to see what happens. It feels like it's a time when there's like energy surrounding this, but you may not know. There can be like a little bit of ambiguity or like chance that's connected with this, or almost like I'm just seeing you waiting and waiting and waiting. Like you know that you can't rush whatever this is. So this may be, for May, it can be about continuing to invest in what this is that you have going on. I'm also seeing there be like you may be preserving something too. Can this also be for your stability as well? I'm wondering if this is going to be leading into a new chapter. Because it feels like if you can be patient enough and if you can invest in this and nurture it properly, it's going to allow something to stabilize. Maybe something that you're wanting to stabilize. Because this could have been a challenge that you've been facing. But there could have also been some resistance that you've been experiencing within the process too, where you could have been digging your heels in a little bit, or you could have been being rigid with something, and it was not allowing for like proper flow. Seems like something along the lines of that it's being addressed. I'm seeing there be a big focus on listening, like tuning in and listening, waiting, patience. It's sort of like a steadfast type of energy that I'm seeing, because I know that you have something going on. Like, you know what you're doing. I'm not seeing there be confusion about that. It seems like it's just about seeing like how the process takes place and like what happens. But you can... I almost get the vibe, like, see how this person just standing there looking at it? You may feel like you're doing a lot of that. Like, doing a lot of just like tending to this, whatever it is, like taking care of it, like nurturing it, watering it, making sure that it gets sun, but like you can't control how quickly this grows. So I'm seeing you just do what you need to do to take care of it, but also just sort of like watching over this, what this is that you have going on, and like keeping it safe and allowing it the space for it to do what it needs to do. I'm seeing the Chariot here, so whatever this process is, I'm seeing it's going to be successful. There may be hurdles that you're experiencing or some challenging stuff that's coming up, but it's nothing that you're not going to work through. So I'm seeing you're going to get a really good outcome here. You know this too. You would have intuitive feelings about this, and it seems like this may also like reinforce your motivation for sticking with this. So it's going to be important. Stick with what you have going on, Virgo, for May. You're going to see something come of this. Can also feel like it's a period of like reservation or like conservation. That came through in one of the other readings too. You're going to be getting news about something. This looks like you're going to be getting news about it. News, information, valuable. I'm seeing somebody come through and want to talk to you. Don't disrupt this process. I'm seeing you be encouraged to keep doing what you're doing here. I'm seeing things are definitely going to work out. So this is your guides being like, if you stick with this, like it's going to do what you're hoping for it to do. I'm seeing that I'm seeing somebody is coming through, and they're coming through to tell you something, and they want to have a conversation. You could be finding something out. Whatever it is, you're going to be informed of something here. And I'm seeing this person like want to have a conversation about it. Wow. Okay. This is actually... Who just had Cancer and Leo? Someone else just had Cancer and Leo come out in their reading too. Maybe, I don't know who it was at this point. Okay. Having Eight of Wands and having the Fool here shows that you're going right into like a brand new type of territory. Having Strength is about you tapping into your resilience to like sort of stand within this. I'm seeing this be connected with a new chapter. This is something that's going to feel really important to you. Also, that's what this news is going to be about. Or like, I don't know if news is the right word, but there's going to be important information that's coming through. It's connected with a new chapter. There is a person that is connected with this. So this isn't just like on the TV, I'm seeing something. This is like, I'm seeing somebody reach out to you and wants to talk to you, and I'm seeing that information is like handed to you that is important. I'm seeing you going through something that's feeling challenging during May, but I'm seeing there be a really, really, really great outcome to this. So whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, I'm seeing that you do that through your perseverance and sticking with this and seeing it through. There's going to be an upcoming conversation. It seems like it's about something like somewhat new or unfamiliar that's happening. You may be moving into a type of situation where you feel like it takes courage to be stepping into this, or it takes like faith to be stepping into this, or that it takes like adjusting to be stepping into this. It is connected with a new chapter, so I'm seeing that be the direction that you're going in. There may be a conversation of someone else being involved in this. Now I'm seeing your energy come out here. There's a conversation about, it can be like expectations, it can be a conversation about values, can be a conversation about needs, can be a conversation about compatibility, can be a conversation about being compensated, like those types of things. Practical things, practical stuff. I'm seeing this is going to be a very, very happy time. I'm looking at the 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. All right, let's see what else we have going on here. There are going to be discussions that happen, but it also looks like there's going to be a lot of reflection too. So there can be an important conversation that's going to be had, and there can also be a lot of like thinking about something, and this can also happen like after the conversation, like whatever this is that's important and significant, it's taking place. And then I'm seeing there be a like pondering that's happening about it, like thinking about it. So it looks like you may be figuring something out that's connected with this. This investment that you're making, it looks like it's like something that you don't do all the time, or that you're not super familiar with, or that you're not used to, but you really need to like, you need to put your trust in this and put your faith in this. And I'm seeing that's what's going to allow this to maybe motivate you to stick with this, whatever it is. Like if you believe in what it is that you have going on here and what it is that you're doing, that may really be what's needed for you to like believe in what this is. Believe in what you're accomplishing, believe in what you're investing in. Talk about it. I wonder too if this is leading into a new chapter where there's going to be something that you'll be vocalizing, or that you're going to be expressing, or that you're going to be like getting something out there or communicating. Something like that can be connected with this as well. You are moving forward with things. Don't get too rigid with your process. Allow yourself to like open up new roads and new pathways and to sort of explore during this time. I'm seeing that also be part of this as well. You can feel like you're hunkering down a little bit. Somebody's thinking about something during May, and I'm seeing that they are going to come through. This is something that they've been thinking about for a while. For some of you, this feels almost like a deal or something like that, Virgo. It's like somebody figuring out something about like a relationship, or about an exchange, or about a price, or about expectations. So there may be an upcoming conversation that's going to be had that's like, well, if I'm doing this, or if I'm showing up like this, like, this is what I need from you. Like, maybe something like that, that type of thing, or something along the lines of that can be being discussed. But I'm seeing there be like a lot of thinking. Like, this is something that's going to be happening, but I'm seeing someone be sort of in a state of reflection so that when it comes time to have this discussion, they know what they're talking about. So that's what's happening here. I'm seeing Virgo, I'm seeing Leo, and I'm seeing Cancer here as well, and Uranus. And with that being said, we are going to leave the reading here. Thank you for connecting. We are going to be jumping into Libra's reading next. Hi Libra, let me write down the time for this. I'm seeing something going on about a partnership. Surprise, surprise. There may be something that you're like assessing, or something that you're figuring out, or something that you're looking into. It can be like those types of things. Okay, what does Libra need to know for May? I'm seeing the Magician. Maybe doing something with work. I'm wondering. This can be a role that you're stepping into, can be something that you're doing financially. You could have like ideas about this. Having the Emperor, it can be about like a position. It can be about you being like, I want to bring this into the work setting, or like, I want to be playing this role, or I want to make this happen while I'm doing this. It can be that type of thing. Or there can be ideas that are connected with like money, that stuff, or business in general. It looks like you're also dealing with something. So Magician shows you being in a space where there's going to be a lot of thinking. There will be a lot of ideas. There can be a lot of like visions that you have of things. You can be in a space where you're feeling like more creative than usual during May. You can have ideas about what you are trying to manifest. There can be a focus on that, on like creating, on accomplishing, on building, on producing, like those types of things. Like, what am I trying to do? What is my intention? Like a reflection on those things. I'm also seeing that at the same time, Five of Cups here looks like you're dealing with something. You could be dealing, Libra, you could be dealing with some type of loss. You could be coming to terms with something. You could be feeling blue. There could be a lot of different things that this can be. Could be worried about something. Even though you're going through something heavy emotionally, it almost looks like that's not impacting you doing other things. So you may feel like you're going through something right now where you're like, emotionally I feel weighed down by that, but I'm still showing up and doing the stuff that I need to do. So it feels sort of like in between everything else that's happening within your life. There may be something that you're just like dealing with emotionally, but you're still tending to everything else, is what this looks like. Could be sad about something. You're processing. Coming to terms. Adjusting. But you're definitely going through something, is what I'm seeing. For some of you, this is something, though, that you've been working on, or like been working through. You can also be like things feeling different, or different than you thought they would be, like that type of thing. Like, I had these expectations about how this would play out. This is what's actually going on. And like sort of integrating those things. Okay. I'm seeing there be plans that are being made. I'm also seeing you get it together here. So whatever this is that's going on, I'm seeing you managing it. Like, it looks like you're remaining balanced through this process. I'm not seeing anything feel like it's tipping over. I feel like we're only just barely scratching the surface though, Libra. Maybe you're feeling like things are sort of staying surface level, or like there's something that you're not getting to the deeper point of. Or you could be feeling like that's just how you need to keep it during the month of May. Let's see what's going on. Okay. I'm seeing 8 of Cups. I'm seeing 10 of Pentacles. So you're moving in a direction that makes sense, but I'm wondering, you know, 8 of Cups is about transitioning from something that we feel like it doesn't really fill our cups anymore, and so we feel like we need to sort of continue in order to move forward. And cups are like feeling energy and emotional energy. So you could be like leaving something behind that you feel isn't resonating with you anymore, any longer, something that's like done with now, and be moving forward. And it looks like you're going to be stepping into something solid. However, it may be something possibly like materially related that you're connecting with. I'm seeing things are definitely going to feel stable, but it looks like whatever this is that you are, what's going on here? There could have been something you were trying to do or something that you wanted to do, but then through reflection, you could have been like, why am I doing that? Or like, this isn't going to go how I thought that it was going to go. It feels like there's something like that that is going to be like making sense, or that's going to be clicking. But I'm also seeing too that you know something isn't right for you to be doing anymore. So you may be transitioning out of that, but at the same time, it feels like you're still coming to terms with that. Like, I know that I don't belong here anymore and that I'm supposed to keep moving. And also too, there's this part of me that's like having a hard time accept that. So I'm seeing that be a focus for you, Libra. However, I'm also seeing too, with the Magician and the 10 of Pentacles, it's like you may have money on your mind, you can have your stability on your mind, you can have your family on your mind, you can have your livelihood on your mind. It's like things where I'm seeing there be a very clear intention of like, I'm going to make things happen, like I'm going to manifest abundance, I'm going to manifest wealth, I'm going to manifest like whatever this is that holds value for you, that holds meaning for you. I'm seeing that be where your intention lies, while also sort of coming to terms with this thing emotionally that may be a really difficult thing to come to terms with. It looks like you already are aware that you're meant to keep going, that you don't like belong somewhere anymore, because it's like not catching for you any longer, but you could be having a really hard time dealing with that. So logically there can be a part of you that's like, I know, but then emotionally there can be a part of you that's like, I still don't want to accept it. And you're dealing with both of those energies right now. Okay. There's going to be a conversation coming up. Seeing you be close with this person, whoever it is that you're talking to. They give you good advice. There's an emotional connection here. So it seems like this is like somebody you would trust. This feels like somebody that you would see as giving you good counsel, like that type of thing. You may be getting closer to being ready to announce something or have a conversation that's connected with like plans that are being made. Logically and mentally, I'm seeing you be on one page. And it's like as soon as that emotional part of you gets on the same page, you may be able to move forward with something. But it feels like it's getting those two energies into balance with one another, and that being the only thing that needs to be accomplished before you can move forward with something. It's like you know the type of place that you want to be in when you do something, and it's about getting into that place. And it feels like it's both a mental destination and also an emotional destination, and then it looks like something is going to be carried out at that point, like when you reach that point, like you're going to take action, or like something's going to be done. It's like it's that type of thing. There's gonna be, I'm seeing you like talking about your feelings with someone, or like checking in with them. That can also be part of this too. It's about like where you're moving towards and what you have going on. So this can be like you're discussing finances with this person. You're discussing lifestyle with this person. You're discussing household with this person. You're discussing resources with this person. It can be like those types of things. It's like material matters, practical matters, family matters, those types of things. A lot of life stuff. Ooh. So at the end of it, at the bottom of it, there's conflict being worked out. It has to do with like your intentions and what you're doing, and you may feel like you're stuck. Something is going to be ending. It may not be ended yet. You may feel conflicted about sort of doing what needs to be done here. There's this part of you that's like, I need to make a plan. A plan needs to be made. We need to make a plan. I need to know what's going on. But then I'm seeing there be conflict. There's resistance, but it feels like the resistance is because of still needing to come to terms emotionally. Once this piece, there can be a part of you that wants to plan now. You're not going to be able to properly. You need to work on the emotional piece of that, because I feel like mentally you're already in the right place. Like mentally you may feel like you're where you need to be, but emotionally you're not, and they're interacting with one another, and that's where there's conflict between these energies. So there can be a part of you that's like, I know that I need to have this conversation. I know that I need to bring this up. I know that I need to address this. I know that I need to say this. But then the part of you that's like emotionally attached and still not letting go and still has not come to terms with what you already know to be true is like, don't say that. Like, don't bring it up. It's not time yet. Like those types of things. So you're basically working with those two aspects of your energy and getting them to harmonize so you're not facing this conflict anymore. And then that's going to free up your manifesting and your creative energy, and it's also going to free up a lot of your mental energy that has been like working itself out. So this is what's going to be taking place in the month of May for you. All right, we're going to jump into Scorpio's reading now. Hi, Scorpio. How's everybody doing? We're here with your reading for May. What do you need to know for May? What does Scorpio need to know for May? See, Page of Pentacles wanting to come out. A door is opening. I'm seeing there be a very clear opportunity, Scorpio. This is something you can't miss. It's going to be right in front of you in a very blatant way. So this door appears in front of you. before you do anything, I'm seeing you spend a lot of time assessing this, a lot of time thinking about it. There may be a specific answer that you're looking for that's connected with this. You're figuring something out. This looks like it's connected with more solid stuff within your life. I'm seeing the Emperor coming out, and I'm also seeing Hermit. So door opens in front of you. You don't do anything physically, like you don't move towards it. You may not respond to it in that type of way. It's more of like an internal response that you're having. To have Hermit and to have Emperor, you can be like, what does this mean? How is this going to affect me long term? Is this aligned with like my bigger plan that I have? It's like those types of things, because Emperor is like your livelihood and your bigger goals and about your long term and about your lifestyle and about like the way that you're sort of running the ship of your life and how this opportunity is potentially going to impact you. So it feels like there's a lot of sort of turning this over, being like, yeah, it just feels like you're looking for an answer here that's connected with this. Like maybe something specifically you want to know. You may put a pause on this. So you know that the door is available. It looks like there's a pause that you're going to put on this. Whatever this opportunity is, pause, recount, reconnect. I'm seeing you having a very deep think about what it is that you want. You may need to, okay. What I'm seeing is that there's a part of you that knows that you're going to be closing something out. You know that this may be like a small sacrifice for the bigger picture. It's going to take that part of you that's like, I'm stepping up and doing the difficult thing that I need to do, but it's because this is my responsibility, because this is my life. It's like that type of thing. But it may be something that's really difficult to like face or to address. But then I'm seeing things are going to move very quickly after that point. Look. You're moving right into something that's going to feel very, very happy. This is going to be a time where you feel like you get to enjoy things, you can relax. Some of you, you're spending time with like people that you really love connecting with, that type of thing. There can be a focus on like family or a focus on loved ones or a focus on like activities that you enjoy, things that like bring you pleasure within your life, or things that bring a sense of fulfillment within your life, or things that just like make you feel happy. I'm seeing that be the direction that you're going in. So this is going to be like a really joyful time. So it feels like whatever this choice is or whatever this is that's being determined, it's for your bigger pursuit of happiness. But I'm seeing definitely something is being addressed, and you feel like this is like the really corporate part of yourself that's sort of coming up that needs to do this. It seems like there's also going to be a period of, I don't know what this is that you're doing, but it's not exerting. There may be something that you're reviewing here, actually, but you're getting yourself into the space to be able to review whatever this is, because I'm seeing it be like a heavy thing that's being reviewed, but then I'm seeing things are going to move forward. So it looks like there's an ending that's being processed. And also too, with this ending that's being processed, and this is going to feel like a big area of your life, to have the Emperor be connected with this. This can be like, I've been spending the last 5 years doing this, and now the cycle is going to be closing. It's something that's going to feel significant and probably something that you've been doing for a while, or something that has like become a staple in your life, or it can even be it's part of something bigger for you. Your identity can be connected to it, things like that. But what's happening is that this, whatever this is that's closing out, it's not like this is closing out and then nothing happens. You have something else that's going on. So that's why like this is closing out and this other thing is going on. But it feels like, it's like this, right? Let's say your guides told you that when this cycle was going to be over, it was going to be clear and another opportunity was going to be put in front of you. And so you like go about your life doing your stuff. A couple years later, you see this opportunity coming where it's like, okay, now's the time, you need to close this cycle out. I'm seeing it be something like that. So it feels like you're getting into a space where you're like, okay, I see that the opportunity is there. I know I need to close out this cycle, or that this just means the end of it. And I'm going to take a moment to sort of like regroup and reflect on this. I'm seeing there be a lot of thinking about, a lot of reflecting about like what you want on the most deep, like heart level, soul level, like that type of thing. Because we have 9 of Cups here. So this is like, what do I want to experience? Like what genuinely makes me happy? Like what are my dreams? What are my goals? What do I want to feel connected with? What's actually going to be fulfilling versus what's not? Like those types of things. So there can be you like really thinking about what you want, and this being a period of reflection about that. So I'm seeing there be like a moment of pause that's happening. There's a reflection that's happening. There's a coming to terms with something closing out. There's also a focusing on like, what do I want now? And I'm seeing it's like a new something that's in front of you. This can be like a new activity that you have going on. It's like a door that's opening. It's something that holds a lot of potential, and you may be figuring out like, what do I want to become of this? And I'm seeing this as something that you would like hope for this to be like maybe a new long-term thing, or like a next long-term thing. Like it feels like this is something you're going to be taking under your wing and nurturing. And you could be figuring out how you want this to sort of play into your life and what you have going on. I'm seeing Virgo and I'm seeing Aries here. There may have been something, okay, like your livelihood, the direction of your life, like those types of things. I'm seeing 10 of Swords, so there may have been something that you were going through where it was like, what's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? And now you know, like the worrying is over, or the figuring out is over, because now like the new opportunity is here. And like, as I said before, having 8 of Wands and having 10 of Cups, you're like going right in the direction of your pursuit of happiness. Like things are going to feel really light. They're going to feel happy. There's going to be a sense of fulfillment. You're going to feel really connected, like those types of things. So that's what I'm seeing is going on. So it feels too like this is all for the sake of that. Like it's for the sake of your deeper pursuit of happiness and what it is that you're doing with your life and how those decisions that you're making are like shaping it. All right, Scorpio, we are going to leave the reading here and we're going to take a quick break, and then I am going to do the last 4 signs.